The little unusual tune is, I don't know how to play it at all. It's a key of G, but it's not G, so I call it only G even. I got a little bit spaced with the whole thing sometimes. And the second two tunes I learned, well, I thought I learned them from my sister. My sister's a very good fiddle player, English. And she lived in Australia for years, playing, teaching and all that, and great fiddle player. Lived in Doolin actually, she was way back when she was 16, a great fiddle player. And I said to her, those two tunes that you play, Sporting Nell and the one before, Travers Reel, I said, where'd you learn them? Because I've just recorded them, and she says, I learned them from you. It's the way the music goes around in circles, you know. As I say, we all play, my kids all play, there's no escaping our house. You get a fiddle and you play it, and that's it. And everything else doesn't matter. I was saying, I have a wee daughter now, she's 9. She's a demon. She does not want to play. But she can play, and that's the thing that killed me. So I told her one day, I said, I'll tell you what, and we're paying for lessons, I don't teach her, God, she drives me nuts. So I sent her out to a friend of mine, and I got her to play a little tune, and I says, every time you play that tune, I would give you a dollar, like, you know. And she played it, it was okay. And she played it again, and it was better, she was second dollar. And then she played it really well, third time, practice, it's called practice, you know. And the third time she played it really, I said, that's great. And then that fourth time she played it exceptionally well. And I said, that's really good. That's it, she says, $4. She would not play it, but she knew I got her. She knew that when she practiced, she got it right. It would cost her $4. Lessons were costing me $100 a month. But she did something. But yeah, that's my mother taught all of us, and my sister taught in Australia. She went to Australia, and she was teaching out there. And all the Australians loved it. They heard all about my mother playing the fiddle and teaching. We up to down in the house in Dundalk, and they all came to visit. Edith said, "Mum, there's people out here who want to meet you. And if you want to come out to Australia, you know, there's a free ticket for you to come to Australia anytime you want." But in the meantime, Mum had a lot of Australian visitors. And Australians don't come for a cup of tea. They come for a week. And they were great, you know. They're very respectful and. But Edith would say, well, anytime you're going to come to Australia, Mum, and my mother would say, why would I go to Australia? Sure, all of Australia comes to me. Which is pretty true, but it's just the whole connection. When I see the families on the walls here, it's amazing. Music, we're very lucky. So I'm going to play a tune. I met a Mr. McManus down at the bar there. Here's a young musician coming in here, I hope. What do you play? What do you play? What's he going to play? Accordion. Oh God, not the accordion. Not the accordion. I used to play an accordion player in Martin O'Connor, brilliant accordion player. And Donegal is all full of fiddle music, you know. But Martin and I were doing a gig, and there was 3 wakes in the area, and we were sort of there licking our wounds and rang up the gig the next day. The parish priest had died. Jesus, things were bad. And James Bourne came in grateful. He said, I can't stay, there's 3 wakes. This wee lady comes in and she says to me, she says, oh, musicians, and we were sort of sitting there. She says, yeah. I said, what do you play? I said, oh, the fiddle. Oh, the fiddle. Oh, the fiddle, I love the fiddle, She's telling all the course. And then she looks at Martin, this, top class accordion player, best accordion player in the world. And she looks at him and she says, oh, what do you play? And he says, the accordion man. And she looked at him and she says, oh, the accordion. It says, lovely accompaniment for the fiddle. I never let him forget that one. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, our friend down there, Mr. McManus. I'm going to play 2 tunes. Yeah, the Curtis and Rose. This little tune. In the 50s, as probably was here as well, traditional music wasn't that popular. And this fiddle player, big man, one of your German friends, McManus, Big John McManus from Octaclimod, he had a ceilidh band, a dance band, and he would be playing away, and they were all having a great time. His friend came home from somewhere and said, John, this music, you have to liven it up, it's not jazzy enough. He says, what do you mean? He says, try and get yourself a saxophone or something like that. So Big John was a very open-minded sort of a character, and he sent his whistle player off to Belfast to buy a saxophone. No idea what a saxophone looked like. But he came home with a saxophone, and he drove his kids nuts. He drove his wife out. And he practiced away, and eventually he got to play the saxophone very well. So his friend was back a few years later, and there was the band with a saxophone player, and there's rock and roll, and the man says, "Oh, I see you've got the saxophone." Yeah, and Big John was watching him. He says, "What's the problem?" He says, "Oh, he's playing the saxophone very well." He says, "It's great jazzy music now you have." He says, "But what's the problem?" He says, "Well, he's playing with his mouthpiece upside down, like a tin whistle player." But anyway, that was Big John had bigger problems than that. His singer let him down one night. Singer was sick or something, and he needed a singer. And this young woman, he put a call out at the dance hall, and he said, "We need a singer for the dancers a break." And this young woman approached him and said, "I can sing a few songs." And they went through a few songs backstage, and he liked the way she sang, and she liked the way he treated her, and she married him. And that was married to Valerie. I met Valerie, lovely people. And he wrote a little piece of music for her. She was from a little townland called Curtiston, and he wrote a piece of music called Curtiston Road. So I'll play that thing now. But I'll put it with another tune associated with a woman that I know, and she wrote this little hornpipe. She told me that her daughter was home from Scotland with a young child, first child, and we were all very happy at Christmas, and then they were back to Scotland, and she was a wee bit sad, you know. And her husband, being the Irish psychologist, you know, Irish men are very good psychologists. He suggested we go shopping, because that solves a woman's problem. If she goes shopping, he's okay. That's how it works. But she said, "No, I won't go shopping." She said, "I'll just go up to the room and play a few tunes." And she wrote this little hornpipe. She said, the first part is very sad, very happy, and the second part's really sad, and the first part's happy. Let me get it right. Middle part's okay, and then the third part's a little bit sad. And she called, because they all went back to Scotland after Christmas, and she called the tune "The Quiet House." So I played these two tunes, the Curtiston Rose and the Quiet House, and I promise the tunes don't last as long as the introduction. From Mr. McManus thing there, one of the taller McManuses.